Want to know how to learn a language 2 times faster? Here's a quick hint. It involves reading and listening to your target language at the same time. It's a super easy yet powerful method that anyone can apply to absorb a language. And you can apply this method with the lesson notes inside our learning system. So stick around. Today, you'll discover why listening and reading along is so powerful, what the lesson notes are and how to get them, and 3 ways to learn faster with the lesson notes. But first, if you don't yet have access to our language learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. So let's jump in. I'll guide you through our learning system so you get to see exactly what's inside and our members-only study tools. Okay, so in this lesson, let's take a look at the lesson notes on our website. But first, I want you to imagine that you're listening to native speakers that are having a conversation. Maybe you catch a word or 2 here or there, but the rest kind of goes over your head because they're speaking really fast. There are lots of unknown words and sentence patterns, and this is a really common thing that lots of beginners really struggle with. But what if you could listen to that conversation and follow along at the same time? You're reading the things that they are saying as they're speaking. Makes it really easy to understand everything, right? But this also will help you to retain the information and remember it better because you're listening to it and you're reading it at the same time. So that's what we're going to look at today with the lesson notes. This is a tool that you can have in every single lesson on our website. So let's talk about how to find it and how you can use it. So we're going to start from the dashboard on the website, but there are a few different ways that you can access the lesson notes. So from the dashboard, you can go to any lesson that's in your pathways list here. So for example, I'm going to go to the Go to Lesson button here that is currently in the active pathway. And to access the lesson notes for this current lesson, I'm going to just click on the lesson notes link, which is just below this main dashboard panel here. So when we go to lesson notes, we find some basic information about the lesson. What is the lesson focus, right? In this case, it's about asking about health or general situation of someone, right? So this is a very basic overview. But inside the lesson notes, you will find the dialogue from the lesson. You'll find the things that they said. You'll find some information about it. Why do we say this expression? Why did the person say it that way, right? We also have some examples of other things that we can say in that situation. There are some sample sentences that you can use for reference, pronunciation tips. You'll find culture tips as well. There's key vocabulary, key phrases. Depending on the language you're studying and the level, you might also find some grammar tips. So you'll find a little bit of an outline about how to use that grammar. So there's a lot of information all inside the lesson notes for you to read. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the different ways that you can use these lesson notes. So let's say, for example, you take this lesson today, and then you want to review the lesson tomorrow. You come to the website and you decide you want to review the lesson, but you don't want to just listen to the lesson again, right? What you can do is come to the lesson notes section, for example, and read through the information as you listen to the lesson. So you're reading the dialogue as you listen to the lesson. You read through everything as you listen along. Maybe you choose to speak along with the lesson, or you do some shadowing practice with the lesson. You write down the example sentences that are provided or the sample sentences that are provided. You do some work with the pronunciation tip that is included in the lesson, right? You can copy out the sentences that are written here and use that for writing practice. So there are lots of different things that you can do with the lesson notes that aren't just about like listening and kind of reviewing separately, if you know what I mean. You can put them all together. So you listen to the lesson and then you read the lesson notes at the same time, and then maybe you listen again without the lesson notes. So you can integrate these into your review sessions so that you're not just listening every time, but you're also really thinking about the different ways that you can use the language, speaking and reading and writing, so that you retain the information, you remember it better, and so that you learn faster. Lastly, I want to point out that if you continue scrolling down on this page, you'll also find a lesson transcript if you want to review that also. The last point that I want to make then is this download as PDF button. So you can click this at the bottom of the lesson notes section, or there's another one at the bottom of the lesson transcript section too. If you want to download this and save it for maybe using it on your phone, on your computer, if you want to print it out or something like that. It's up to you. You can do that very easily here. Choose download as PDF to do that. So this is a really quick introduction to all the different ways that you can use the lesson notes to make sure that you're learning quickly and efficiently, and to make your review sessions really kind of interesting and not just listening to exactly the same thing as you listened to the day or the week before. So again, you can find the lesson notes from the lesson notes link at the bottom of every lesson dashboard on the website. And you can review the lesson without retaking the lesson with the lesson notes. You just read through, review the lesson's dialogue, grammar, and vocabulary. It just takes a minute or two. But why do this? Well, one of the best ways to acquire language is through repeated exposure. So you take a lesson and then review the lesson notes after for that repeated exposure. So, if you want to learn the language and get access to these learning tools and our learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Thai ebook before it's gone.
Listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
นี่อีก2 อาทิตย์เราจะไปแหละไปด้วยกันไหม
อ๋อเราเคยไปเมื่อปีก่อนสนุกมากๆเลยว่าแต่จะไปทำอะไรที่ปายหรอ
ไปล่องแก่งเมื่อ3 ปีที่แล้วผมเคยล่องแก่งที่แม่น้ำโคโลราโดที่อเมริกาครับสนุกมากๆงั้นก็ไปด้วยกันสิครับเจมส์ครับไปครับ
Now you will hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
สนุก
fun
เคย
ever
แม่น้ำ
river
ล่องแก่ง
to go whitewater rafting
อีก
again
เมื่อ
time when while
งั้นก็
well then
ปาย
by the name of a town
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
นี่อีก2 อาทิตย์เราจะไปแหละไปด้วยกันไหม
อ๋อเราเคยไปเมื่อปีก่อนสนุกมากๆเลยว่าแต่จะไปทำอะไรที่ปายหรอ
ไปล่องแก่งเมื่อ3 ปีที่แล้วผมเคยล่องแก่งที่แม่น้ำโคโลราโดที่อเมริกาครับสนุกมากๆงั้นก็ไปด้วยกันสิครับเจมส์ครับไปครับ
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Thai ebook before it's gone.
Listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
พี่เจมส์คะพรุ่งนี้เป็นวันเกิดของหนูค่ะ
เหรอครับพรุ่งนี้น้องเจี๊ยบอายุจะครบกี่ขวบครับ
7 ขวบค่ะแล้วพี่เจมส์เกิดวันที่เท่าไหร่คะ
วันที่28เดือนกันยายนครับ
วันอะไรคะเราเกิดวันจันทร์เจี๊ยบเกิดวันเสาร์ฮะเจมส์ไม่รู้วันเกิดของตัวเองหรอ
ไม่รู้ครับที่อเมริกาไม่สำคัญ
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
วันเกิด
birthday
วันจันทร์
Monday
วันเสาร์
Saturday
เดือน
month
กี่
How many?
กันยายน
September
สำคัญ
Important, significant.
ขวบ
years
เกิด
to be born
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
พี่เจมส์คะพรุ่งนี้เป็นวันเกิดของหนูค่ะ
เหรอครับพรุ่งนี้น้องเจี๊ยบอายุจะครบกี่ขวบครับ
7 ขวบค่ะ แล้วพี่เจมส์เกิดวันที่เท่าไหร่คะ
วันที่28เดือนกันยายนครับ
วันอะไรคะ เราเกิดวันจันทร์ เจี๊ยบเกิดวันเสาร์ ฮะ เจมส์ไม่รู้วันเกิดของตัวเองเหรอ
ไม่รู้ครับที่อเมริกาไม่สำคัญ
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
Access your free language gifts right now, before they expire. First, the All the Language You Need for Everyday Life PDF ebook. Get all of our best conversation cheat sheets rolled up into one PDF ebook. Download it right now before it disappears. Second, the Talking About Your Family conversation cheat sheet. Learn all the words you need to know to talk about your family with this one cheat sheet. Third, the Must-Know Words for Hobbies vocab lesson. If you want to talk about your hobbies in your target language, this 1-minute lesson is for you. Fourth, the top 15 phrases for talking about your plans, such as I am free tomorrow, I'm busy, and much more. Fifth, going on vacation vocabulary. Learn how to say camping, road trip, summer holiday, and much more with this 1-minute lesson. And sixth, the only app that teaches you the language through conversations between real people. Download innovative language learning for free for the Android, iPhone, and iPad. You'll unlock bite-sized lessons that teach you practical conversations and get you speaking in minutes. To get your gifts and language learning resources, click the link in the description below. Download them right now before they expire. Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is how to ramp up your language progress for the second half of the year. If you started learning a language at the start of the year, we're now pretty much halfway through the year. Has your language improved since January? And what about these next remaining months? Do you have any plans? If you don't want to feel guilty about being lazy with the language, and if you want to end the year strong instead of restarting next January for the millionth time, then now is the time to do it. Today, you'll learn 1. The best ways to ramp up your language progress without having to study more. 2. 7 tips and learning tools for faster progress. And 3. Much more. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the All the Language You Need for Everyday Life PDF ebook. Get all of our best conversation cheat sheets rolled up into one PDF ebook. Download it right now before it disappears. And second, the How to Talk About Your Family Conversation Cheat Sheet. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Now to today's topic. How to ramp up your language progress for the second half of the year. So if you want to ramp up your language progress, what should you do? Well, let's ask the question in a different way. What can you control within your language learning? You can't easily control results because that takes time, right? But you can always control your effort, meaning you can do more and spend more time. And for most learners, spending more time is usually the answer, and that's it. Just put in more time. Lesson over. But if you're not like most learners, if you've been learning a language without much progress, just throwing more time at the problem is not the best answer. Now, it's more about spending that time better, because some methods get you better results than others in the same amount of time. Part 1. The best ways to ramp up your progress. In fact, there's a popular story about a ceramics class you'll hear if you're learning about productivity, where a ceramics teacher split their class into 2 groups, where one group was graded on quality, where they had to create just one perfect pot to get a perfect grade, and the other group was graded on quantity, so they had to make 50 pots to get a perfect grade, and both spent the same amount of time. Can you guess who made the best pots? Was it the group that had to just make one perfect pot, or the group that made 50 in the same amount of time? Well, the group that made 50 pots ended up creating higher quality pots because they learned from the experience, whereas the group that sat around thinking of one best idea didn't get to improve at all. So both groups put in the same amount of time, but one group's results were vastly different. Just goes to show that if you want to ramp up your effort, it's also important to spend that time wisely. If you spend 1 hour cramming for the week, or if you spend 10 minutes a day for 6 days, both adding up to 1 hour for the week, you'll make better progress with 10 minutes a day for 6 days rather than cramming. Cramming doesn't work for hours up front, it just doesn't work. Similarly, if you spend 10 minutes watching YouTube videos on language, or 10 minutes saying 20 specific phrases where you're doing output over and over, you'll be way better off with the 20 phrases. The second lesson from that ceramics class story is this: frequency is much more important than the time put in. The group that got the best results made 50 pots. That's 50 practice attempts. So the amount of times you do something is way more important than how long you do it. Between cramming for an hour once a week and spending 10 minutes a day for 6 days, which is also an hour a week, you'll make better progress with 10 minutes a day for 6 days. With cramming, you only technically learn once, and then you forget. With 10 minutes for 6 days, that was 6 practice sessions, where your brain had time to rest, time to process what you've learned, and then had a chance to revisit it the next time around, allowing you to remember things better. So, to recap, if you want to ramp up your language progress, you can put in more time, which is good enough because most learners aren't putting in enough time. You can spend your time wisely with better learning techniques, and you can also increase your frequency of practice and learning. So, what can you do? Part 2. 7 tips and learning tools for faster progress. If you want to ramp up your language progress for the second half of the year and speak more, one way to do it would be to put in more time. If you're only putting in 10 minutes a day, try 20. But putting in more time for the sake of doing it may not always be the best approach. It depends on what you do with that time. So, if you want to ramp up your speaking progress, here's how you ramp up your output. 1. Increase the frequency of your output, or practice sessions. And this is the main takeaway from this lesson. However you choose to practice, you'll get better results from practicing several times a day or several times a week instead of once a day or once a week. This is why cramming never works. Here's how. 2. Practice your speaking skills by sending recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. The easiest thing you can do here is to send 3 recordings a day. 1 in the morning, 1 during the day, and 1 at night, detailing what you've done. Like, I wake up, I brush my teeth, I have breakfast, and I go to work. Just send 3 or 4 lines like that, nothing complicated. And they'll review your recordings and respond with corrections. 3. Take our hand-graded assessments to practice and assess your speaking and writing skills. You'll find these in the recommended pathway. And remember, you can always retake them after if you want to improve your score or apply the teacher's feedback. If you're a premium member, you can take our multiple choice assessments instead. 4. Practice shadowing the lesson conversation 3 times in one day. For example, after taking the lesson, shadow it once. If it's in the morning, then do it a second time at noon and a third time in the evening or before you go to bed. The point of spacing it out throughout the day is so that you remember it better instead of doing it once and forgetting it. 5. Practice reading the lesson dialogue out loud. If you can't easily shadow a conversation just yet, then reading is the next best thing. You can read along with the dialogue tool, lesson notes, or lesson transcript. 6. You can also practice writing out the lesson dialogues. Our lesson dialogues are conversations that you can use in real life with native speakers. And by writing it out a few times, you'll remember it better that way. 7. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. You'll find the voice recorder inside the dialogue tool in all of our lessons. Just look for the microphone icon next to each line. By the way, all of these suggestions shouldn't take more than 10 or 15 minutes. And all of these shouldn't be done just once a week. Just pick 1 or 2 from this list of suggestions and try them out. The goal here is to increase the frequency of sessions or output throughout the day or week. Remember, even though putting in more time can be a way to ramp up your progress, you still have to apply that time wisely. You could spend 15 minutes practicing speaking or do just 5 minutes 3 times throughout the day, which is also 15 minutes. But you'd remember things better with the extra repetition. Thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about how to maintain your mindset and language learning routine. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye! Great work! Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.